the founder of ChiroConnect. Thank you for carving a few minutes out of your day to talk with me about patient reactivations. So I am just going to take a quick second to say just all of a sudden there's a big storm that has come where I live. We were not supposed to get this storm so severe, but it's not looking great for us. So if I lose power or internet service or the sound is too bad, I apologize. If I do lose power and it stops this broadcast, don't worry. I'll finish it up as a video and I'll send it to you. But things are not looking too great. So just a heads up. But anyway, I'll just jump right on back in and we'll get started and get as much as we can get in just in case. So, hey, thank you for joining me again. I know that you're doing a million things right now. Some of you are still adjusting patients out on the West Coast. Some of you are just wrapping up your day. So I appreciate your time. Real quick on logistics, I'll teach for a little bit and then I'll open it up for Q&A. So at any point in time during my teaching that you have a question, just throw that into the chat and I'll be sure to answer it for you. And if you're not familiar with me, I've worked in chiropractic marketing for over 15 years, and I've worked with over 1,000 chiropractors and practices. Many are ChiroConnect clients right now. And what I'm going to share with you today is proven, implementable, and it's something that you can literally get started with tomorrow. So these are things that you can do on your own that shouldn't cost you a ton of money, might cost a wee bit depending on the size of your list. So we'll get started. All right, let's switch our slide here. So we're going to kick things off with the number one thing that I wish all chiropractors knew about reactivating your patient list using email. And too many chiropractors wait until things slow down. They send one big "we miss you" email and then nothing happens. And then they're thinking, okay, why didn't that work? And it just really missed the mark. And that's because if you're not consistently emailing with your patients, they don't really know to look for emails from you. So it's better if you're emailing at intervals that make sense in your practice. So true reactivation is about small, consistent touch points that keep you top of mind without shoving offers down their throat. And I'm going to show you a real life example. So this is literally just happened a few weeks ago for one of my clients. He emailed in and said, "Hey, Narissa, we have an office closure. It's last minute." I believe he emailed on Tuesday and we got the email out on Tuesday that his office was going to be closed on Friday through Monday. So as you can see here, we sent a simple email closure notice for this client. We sent it to 1,600 patients, no promo, no push. We just let them know that the office was going to be closed for an extended weekend. And if they needed to be seen beforehand, to go ahead and call now to get that spot. So this drove, at the time, this drove a 48% open rate with 7 bookings within like a 48-hour time period. So it was more like 24 hours, but maybe about a day and a half. So within a day and a half, we had 7 bookings for this stock. And that's the power of having a rhythm. So he emails consistently, and his patients are trained now to know that if he emails, it's important and they need to open that email. So just to add to some perspective about this, because some of you might be thinking, oh, that's terrible click rate. Just 7 with 800 emails opened. Like, just to give you some perspective, if you were to just post this to social media. So social media, like a Facebook post, this doc has 900 Facebook followers. You only have about a 2 to a 6% reach when you're posting to social alone. So that's going to give you maybe around, I did the math, let me check my notes. It means that only 36 people would have seen this social post. So this social post alone would have reached 36 people. Now, out of those 36 people, you can see what type of conversion, rate you would be looking at. And that's not a lot. So by the time this email ran its course, which was, like a really like a 2.5 to 3 day, it actually received a 52% open rate and a few more clicks. So what we ended up with was 838 patients saw this message versus 36 going social media alone. So I want to dig in real quick on why this particular email worked. So what you see here is first, it was timely and it was relevant. So giving patients information that they genuinely need instead of just a generic pitch makes all the difference. Like that, the subject line about an office closure is something that would cause the patient to take notice, as opposed to just like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while type of email. Second, it was super concise. So just a couple of short sentences. We didn't go crazy. Just a very specific message. Third, it was human touch. It's from the doc. It's not from just, a random person. It was from the doctor's name, the doctor's email address, not like a random no reply email. And fourth, there was no hard sell. So we just built goodwill and just shared information as opposed to trying to sell anything. So that's really why this approach is a little bit more, just a little bit more engaging than the other type. So let's see here. Oh no. It looks like there's a little bit of overlap with my text. If you can see that, I apologize. But essentially, what we're looking at here is exactly how you can do this on your own. And don't worry, I'm going to send over some instructions with the replay. So be sure to pay attention to that. I'll include kind of like a little bit of a how-to for each of these. So here's actually exactly how you can do this on your own. So you want to use a pretty basic formula. You want to pick one clear, concise purpose. Two, write a short 2-sentence body email. Don't go crazy, just your original purpose for emailing. And then the next sentence is the simple call to action with no promotional language. That is just this is taking place, and if you need to be seen or this alters anything in your world, like call us right now and get on schedule. And then the fourth thing is, make sure that you're sending it from a real person. So you want to make sure that you're sending it from the doc and not anything super crazy like from a marketing team. Hi. Hi. And then you want to structure these emails for office closures, new team members. You can introduce your new team members, their birthdays, patient birthdays, patient anniversaries, local events, health fairs, open houses, anything like that, lunch and learns, quick practice updates, anything from a new parking lot to a lobby refresh. So really there's a lot there that you can play with that makes these super impactful. Pro tip, I wanted to throw this out there for you, and this is one of those things I will include in the replay. I want to throw out that you can use tools like ChatGPT for help with writing these emails. So if you are new to AI, you may need to start by giving it just a little bit of information about you and your practice. You can really just share your website URL and ask it to get familiar with you. And then you can write a short prompt. Now, the prompt you see here is a fill in the blank. I'll include this, like I said, in the replay, so you can copy it, paste it, fill in the blank, and then ask that to ChatGPT. So what we would say is something like, write a short email to my patients about insert your topic, keep it natural and human, like I'm writing it myself. This email should have one clear purpose, a 2-sentence body, and a simple, friendly call to action. Skip any promotional language. Keep it sounding like it's coming directly from me, not like a marketing email. Now, sprinkle these in with your normal, like you may not currently be sending email, and that might be out of your budget, or it might be too difficult for you to commit to. You might be just a one-person shop. But you can go, like for instance, if you wanted to go for free, you could go to something like MailChimp, segment out 500 people from your email list, patients maybe who haven't been in a while. You can whittle that time frame down anywhere from 60 days to 2 years. If they've not been seen during that time frame, pull 500 out, create you a free account. You'll have that MailChimp little logo at the bottom, but if this is what fits in your budget, I highly recommend that you don't go for perfect, go for just doing it consistently. Like, this is something that, you might have one of these occasions happen once a month or once a quarter, but just the fact that you're doing it is what really counts. So we're going to wrap up point one. Point two, the second thing that I want every chiropractor to know about reactivations, and Doc, this is probably the most important one of all. So if you take anything from this webinar, I really hope that it's this point. If you're emailing, and if you're using ChatGPT, or even if you're using yourself to just write all of this stuff, I highly suggest ChatGPT for this, just to make it easier for you and save you some time. What you're going to want to do is go into your EHR and pull your intake forms. So your patients are not reading PubMed. The emails that go out that sound like PubMed, they're not like speaking in that language. They don't understand what you're talking about. So they don't really think in terms of subluxation or, segmental dysfunction. Like, they're not thinking in your terms. What they're thinking of is, I'm not feeling great. So go to your intake forms. I want you to go pull like the last 20 of them. You're going to go through them, go pull 20 of them. Here's what you're going to see things. You're going to see, I wake up every morning with a headache. You're going to see, I feel like something's pinching in my lower back. My neck crunches when I turn my head to check my blind spot. You're going to hear things that real people, like that real language. And this is why that is so valuable. Take that language, pull 20 of those. Now, read about how your patients described their symptoms and take those words exactly. Don't alter them, don't clean them up. I want you to literally just copy and paste that into a spreadsheet, and then take that, open up ChatGPT, drop that in, and ask ChatGPT, hey, pick your most common, give that list to ChatGPT and say, write me a newsletter for each one of these conditions. Write a short patient story for each one of these stories, because these patients are how you're going to connect with your patient base is going to be based on how you speak to them and the language that you use. So, for example, you're not wanting to say, hey, Mark, I'm so sorry to hear that you may be experiencing back pain. Like, you're seeing I'm sorry, that's not a good example. I got a little bit mixed up with my notes right there. Let me start over. So instead of saying, I'm going to go back to my notes instead of winging it. So instead of saying, here are 3 ways chiropractors help with headaches, what you're saying instead, based on the intake notes that you go and you read, you could say something like, my patient was waking up with a headache every morning, and here's what we did to help. So if you see how that connects differently, that's what gets read, and that's how you're really going to build emails that people respond to. So instead of it being like, hey, here are 3 things that help with sleep, you can say something like, I had a patient last week that hadn't slept in 2 days, or felt like they hadn't slept in 2 days. Here's what I did to help. That is a different connection. That type of subject line and that type of content is going to make your patient say, oh, I'm really interested in this. Like, I'm familiar with that. I identify with that. I have those same feelings. So it's really important for you to talk like them and identify where they're at in their lives. And then third, I'm going to stick with my patient notes so that I don't go too off the rails. The third thing no one's telling you, and the third thing I wish every chiropractor knew, is that you must segment your list. Segmenting your list gives you the control to adjust your conversation based on who you're speaking to. So before your eyes glaze over, this isn't super complicated. You don't need like a really complicated software or anything like that. All I'm talking about here is strategy. So if you send the same email to your list every time, like you're just kind of relying on luck there. And that's fine for important notices like what we talked about in point one, like office closures, tying that in, like that's great. But what we're talking about here is segmenting your offer. So this is where you're getting promotional. So that first point, you're not really promotional. You're just speaking to them on their, like on terms that they may need to know about your practice, office closures, anniversaries, birthdays, those types of things. And then this is different. This is where you want to get promotional. This is where you're saying, hey, I'm offering something. Are you interested? And the best way to do that is to by segmenting your list. So let's say instead of pulling a weight loss list of, say, let me see here. Sorry, I wanted to switch up my slides. So let's say that you pull a list of weight loss patients, and we're going to say they haven't been in between 60 days and 2 years. That's the example we used earlier. So let's pull weight loss specific patients. And now this can be anything. This can be your chiropractic, your care plan. This can be weight loss, spinal decompression, neuropathy, shockwave, soft wave, you name it. This can be any of those. So what you want to do is pull that list out of your EHR. You can run generally a quick report on these in your EHR. I just want to say, if you don't know how to do that, email my team at team@getchiroconnect.com. Whether you sign up for our service or not, we don't care. Like we'll help you do this yourself. We're all about service. So if you even if you're not signing up with us, like I said, email team@getchiroconnect.com. We can send you over some instructions that we may have on hand that can help you pull this list. So go find your weight loss patients, 60 days to 2 years. Pull that list. Go to a service, like I said, MailChimp, as long as it's around, I believe it's 500 and under for the contact list, you can email that list, I think 2 times a month for free. Like I said, you will have the MailChimp logo at the bottom, but you're still able to add your own logo. And I'm going to be starting a reel series soon on Instagram on how to do this on your own, just because it might not fit in your budget to join ChiroConnect. And if that's the case, I want you to have all of the tools that you need to just do it on your own. So in this case, if you need to use MailChimp, get that list, create your free MailChimp account, make sure the list is under 500. And you're going to say something like, hey, first name. And most all email providers like MailChimp have that option for you to put the first name in. So we'll say, hey, first name, I was thinking about you this week as we started checking in with our past weight loss patients. We've got a few spots open right now, and I just wanted to see how you've been doing and if you'd like some support getting back to your goals. So first of all, this person may have started with weight loss, and for whatever reason, they fell off the wagon. It is highly unlikely that they've continued with their goals after leaving your care. So this is like, not only is it helping you by getting these patients back into your practice, but you're sincerely helping them. So reach out, send this email, and you're going to get a different response from something like this as opposed to like, hey, we offer weight loss, call us today. So see, the difference is this person was targeted. They had this on their mind. They had a goal set. They were seeing you for some reason. Now you're bringing that reason back to light, refreshing their memory, and trying to get them back in. That's going to be much better than just one of those generic pitches. All right, y'all. I have given you my three things. I'm going to check the chat. But before I do, really quick, I just wanted to say again, thank you for being here. If you have questions that you want to ask our team about any of this, just email team@getchiroconnect.com if you need help implementing anything. So, like I said, I'm just going to do a super fast recap. Number one, you don't need to do these quarterly one-time blasts. These are not bad things. Do these too. But what you really need to do is have consistent, use consistent touch points that you normally might not email about. Use those to email your patient base, connect with them, let them know what's happening, and then just let them know that if they need to be seen, you're there. And that will consistently build your goals as opposed to just kind of like these one and done campaigns. Second, those intake forms. Though that's the single most important thing that you can learn from this webinar is to go to your intake forms and speak like your patients speak. They don't really understand if you get too clinical and you just want to reach them where they're at. They're not coming in and they're saying, hey, doc, I think, they're not coming in and talking about subluxation. They're coming in and saying, hey, doc, I think I've pitched something. Please help me. So speaking on their terms is really going to make a difference. And then third, segmenting your list. That's such a big deal when it comes time to actually using that promotional language and pitching your patients. So I'm going to check. I'm going to go ahead and check our questions here. So we have one: how many little reactivation emails should I send, and how often? So that's a really great question. So for the types of emails that we talked about in point one is what I think you're talking about. For those types of emails, there's not really a consistent time frame so much as when it's appropriate for your practice. Shoot for one time a month. If you can figure out one thing to say, to your patient list every month that is relevant, that's happening, if not every month, shoot for like every 45 days. Don't go all the way out to 90 days because that's not a consistent interval. You want it to be, anywhere from, I would go with 4 to 9 weeks at the latest, and that's really pushing it there. Maybe 4 to 6 weeks at the latest to, stay pretty consistent. Like you can always wish somebody, you can come up with a monthly birthdays, a single monthly birthdays email to email everyone who has a birthday in the month of May. So we're coming up on May. So then when we come up on June, pull everybody that has a birthday in June. You're really segmenting those lists, but you can come up with some way every month to connect with your patients. And so I suggest monthly if you can swing monthly, or at least, every other month at the bare minimum. So next, do I need special software to send these, or can I use my normal email? That is a great question. You actually do need to use special software. So boxes like Gmail and Yahoo, things like that, free email boxes, even your paid email box, you would have to go one by one. And those email boxes are not set up to do something like this. Now, if you're just sending to 10 people, you can shoot off 10 emails. But if you're sending to 100, 200, 500, our average client has 1,200, I think a little bit over that now, 1,200 patients on their email list. So if you're sending to a list like that, you're going to need MailChimp. That's going to be the cheapest thing if you're going to do it yourself. So cheapest thing if you're going to do it yourself, go with MailChimp probably. That's what most ChiroConnect users used before they joined us, was they were using MailChimp. So I think that's just your cheapest option if you can't afford a service like ChiroConnect. Let's see here. All right. I'm just looking through my notes to see if I missed anything. One other thing I had in my notes that I forgot to say, just on what we were talking about a second ago, is finding something to email about for those natural touch points. Like this could be like personal notes. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. As long as there's a purpose to it, it's short and it's something simple that you can share. So, Those are really good. I'll probably let me ask like I'll ask Chat GPT for a really great list of like 25 things, and I'll include that in my upcoming emails. So just keep an eye out. Maybe I don't think I'll be able to get to that in time for the replay or tomorrow's newsletter, but maybe not tomorrow's newsletter that goes to you guys, but the next one I'll do something about that. So anyway, we've recapped. So if you're thinking, Narissa, this is awesome, this is great, here's just another quick recap slide. But if you're thinking, Narissa, this is great, how can I get started? I'm going to tell you exactly how you can get started. So for a very, very limited time, we're going to offer our service for $199. So you may have seen this. This has been like our little introductory offer. That was loud. And this is our introductory offer. It's been around really for about the past year now. And I'll just be completely honest. Now that we're diving into our second year, we're going to be sunsetting this offer really, really soon. So probably by the end of next month, like this price point will never even be seen again. So I just want to throw that out there and let people know, just because I want to be upfront. I'm not trying to push you, but I do want to say that tonight we were mainly focused on reactivations, but our service not only handles your reactivations, but we also handle your retentions with our weekly patient newsletters. So those are designed to educate, build your retention, and to keep your patients engaged. And what we cover tonight is built on the premise of reactivating those patients. So what we focus on with ChiroConnect is your retention and reactivation. There are always sprinkled opportunities for new patients, opportunities like referrals, people who may be on your list who are actually have never been in yet, like all kinds of opportunities, but the main focus is retention and reactivation. And if you are not sure what that could look like for your practice, I encourage you, I'm actually going to go ahead right now in the chat and drop all of my links. Number one, if this sounds great to you and you want to get started with us, I included the link here for you to get started at this $199 price. It does not take long for you. Like for instance, if you sign up, like this is just Tuesday. If you sign up right now, we can have your first email out next Monday that welcomes people to your newsletter, and your first newsletter out on our next Wednesday cycle. So in a week from now, your clients could be getting a newsletter. This week is a flex week. We usually take the 5th weeks of every month and make that a flex week, where we focus in like on a lot of family stuff. So this is just like a spring recap, like what you can be doing, like spring cleaning your house, things like that. It's just more fun and family oriented. Next week, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it might be sports injury. I'm not sure, but your patients could be getting a relevant chiropractic, amazing, engaging, beautiful, awesome newsletter this time next week. So if you have questions and you're not sure, go ahead and click my Calendly link and book with me. I included that as well. And I also included a link for you to see what our newsletter looks like. So I actually, let me see here. I don't have a test in my inbox right now that would be easy to show you guys. So yeah, just go ahead and click that link. If you click that link, you'll see an example of what a newsletter looks like. And like I said, if you are not able to commit to sending emails on your own, your best option is to join ChiroConnect at $199 a month. There's no setup fee. There are no commitments. You can sign up, get started, and we can be sending emails next week. But if that's not possible for you right now, implement these yourself. with a service like MailChimp that's within your budget. And like I said, I believe you can get a free account, add up to 500 contacts and send 2 emails a month to those contacts. So I'm saying that to say, keep an eye out. If you don't join us right now, keep an eye out, keep watching what we're up to. I'm going to keep teaching how you can do this on your own without paying someone to do it for you. And like I said, if you have questions, just book a call with me and we'll talk them out. So I'm like, sincerely, I cannot tell you enough when I started this business. And I like, CareConnect is really has just been a dream for me. I can't tell you enough. Like, I was so nervous starting to do webinars and be on the front lines. So I've been behind the scene for 15 years, and I'm just now learning to get on camera and get on stage and podcasts and things like that and speak to this profession that I've been speaking to for so long from just behind a curtain. And so many of you are joining my webinars and are registering my webinars. I really appreciate it. And I can't tell you enough what it means to me and our entire team. So we have a combined almost 30 years of experience in chiropractic marketing, and we've all been behind the scenes for this time. And it just means so much for us to be able to share this with you guys and really make a dent in what we're doing. And just one more thing before I wrap up, and I promise I'll end this and move along, let you get to the rest of your day. I recently wrote a press release, and I shared that on Instagram. I'm going to be linking that. I think I sent it out in a newsletter as well, but I'll maybe I'll share that in the replay as well. I recently wrote a press release all about our mission and how every email that goes out to a patient, whether we send that on your behalf, on our client's behalf, or you send it yourself, every single email, every single touch point that goes out to your patient is one notch against the ads and the nonstop onslaught of pharmaceuticals. So pharmaceutical ads make up tons of ad space and on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, in streaming platforms like Netflix, like Hulu. So every time that a patient can see an email from one of you, as opposed to that, is just a notch in a better, healthier, holistic direction. So thank you again for being here. Keep up the good work. If you have questions, let us know. We're here to help. And I'll see you next month. I'm sure I'll have another webinar coming soon. And I hope to see you then. Bye.